Welcome, everyone, to the Mapped Out Podcast. I am your host, Michael Patterson, along with my buddy Michael Schmansky. Let's get it started. Okay, welcome, everyone, to the show. It is going to be a different show. Usually we have a really science-based show. However, today is a little bit different. We are actually going to be doing something a little bit more fun and reacting to David Goggins' Instagram stories and videos. And so without further ado, Michael, how are you doing today, bud?
Feeling kind of warm.
Really? Well, it's probably because we have a heat wave running through Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now.
Yeah, that'll end tomorrow.
Oh, of course. Welcome to the Midwest.
Yeah.
And so today we are diving into David Goggins' videos. But before we do, if you like the show, please share the show with your friends, your family, your dog. We don't really care as long as you share it. And if we provide value, we ask for value in return. Now, before we dive in, we have to give a language warning because David Goggins does not care about expletives that he may say in his videos. So, with that being said, Michael, you want to give us a preview of what we're going to be watching?
So this is a video released on David's Instagram shortly after he put out a video showing off his edema in his legs, where he put his hand on his leg and it made imprints on his leg of his hand, which was pretty gruesome. But this was followed by people making all sorts of comments saying that he had to take it easy. He had to stop working out, and that and that he should take time off and stop being a tough guy. So this video was in response to those people who were telling him to take it easy. So yeah.
Okay, let's dive in.
I put a video up, and it showed my leg with a lot of edema. I put my hand on it. I got a lot of bad comments on that. A lot of hate came out of that fucking thing, man. Talking shit that I'll never run again. There's a good chance I wasn't going to. But I thought about it for a long time. And they had this stuff out there called calm. Before you go to sleep, you play it. Ocean waves, birds and shit. Waterfall, thunder, all that shit. I made a Goggins remix of all your shit talking. I put that motherfucker on before I went to bed. Evil, violent shit. Woke up motherfucking refreshed. Ready to kick ass.
I love it.
I'm 22 miles in, motherfucker. Running videos are back. Stay hard.
Okay. Okay, so let's hear your first take.
It's fantastic. I love it.
So let's talk about
just
this
like the
normal
remix.
people.
That was like the best part.
Yeah,
It's like,
completely.
woke up refreshed, listening to all your talk.
But I think there's also a, I think he's pretty extreme, and I hope that this did inspire, right? Maybe there's a guy who was like, oh, should I get out of bed today? And you know, I'm not feeling it today. And then he watched this and he was like, oh, I need to go get some. Like, we need to go attack something. Yeah. Maybe it's work or maybe it's something else, but I need to do something.
Or people who like get like a sprain or like a scratch or like a little cut, and they're like, I can't be active today. Like, I don't want to injure myself again. Acting like it's some like spine injury or something.
Oh yeah.
And then this might, motivate him. Like, hey, he's running with edema in his legs.
What is edema?
So it's basically like water buildup in the periphery, and that's because of usually heart problems. Exchange of blood pressures is not as efficient, so water gets left where it shouldn't be left, and it's usually driven out and not retained. So that's why it gets built up in the periphery where the vessels are usually smaller. So.
Now, have you read his book yet?
Yeah.
Okay. He talks about having sickle cell.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it could for sure.
Has a predisposition to that risk. You ready for the other one? Or for the next one?
Yeah, I haven't heard it. I've heard this
Yeah.
one.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world.
Little motivation.
Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that we have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date. But your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death. Real life, you can't Google that, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're
He's laughing. We just got on the serious motivational video, and he's laughing.
It's just a piano that gets me.
But I love it, though, because it's this realization that you can control your own fate, right? That okay, things may suck right now, and how does this apply really to our audience? I think it really comes down to you won't see the results that you want right away, but it is this constant pursuit towards those results that becomes satisfying. And as you start to go down the journey, you start to realize what the true satisfying part of whatever your outcome may be is really just getting there and seeing where you came from and where you're going. And that gives you motivation to push towards something else. It gives you motivation to talk maybe to people who you wouldn't have talked to before. That confidence to say, I have put my mind to something, and no matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and accomplish it. And no matter what, we'll get there. Let's hear your take.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's also like the realization that once you realize that the world was made by people and the things in the world were made by people that aren't necessarily smarter than you, and that when you press the world and something pops out the other side, such as like your invention or your like creation of something or your promotion of something, once you realize that you have the ability to do that as well, it kind of removes the kind of mental barriers that we set on ourselves that, oh, well, I'm not Elon Musk, or like I'm not Steve Jobs, or like I'm not Bill Gates. Like you need this predisposed barrier that unless you look like these people or went to these schools or study this, that you can't make your own impact. Yet the entire world for centuries has been made by people no smarter than you.
Yeah, so that reminded me of a Jobs quote that once you realize that the whole world was created by men and women, you start to realize that what one man can do, another man can do, and that it's all within your choices, right? It's all within your ability, and it's a matter of accomplishing whatever you want to set out to accomplish. Transition this towards fitness especially. I think there's a lot of people who put invisible barriers when it comes to fitness. In reality, it's, what do you eat? What do you consume? What do you, that comes back to reading, to technology, etc. for consumption. But also, what are you putting out into the world? Are you trying to encourage other people to be healthy, or are you not? And those things add up to a healthy life and allow you to accomplish whatever you set out to accomplish. Are we ready for the next video?
Yeah.
We're kind of blowing through these, but they're just hilarious, and I love them.
Maybe you were a victim of being called fat growing up.
By the way,
Folks make fun of you and shit.
we have not
Maybe you weren't the smartest
we have not. I'm clicking random videos, so preface this.
motherfucker in school. If people can't match you for that shit, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's great power in adversity. If you're a victim of any kind, make sure you use that shit to become successful. Don't look for revenge. Look for the fucking reckoning. And I guarantee you, all those people who fuck with you growing up, you might just be their boss. You'll come looking for a fucking favor. And when they do, you got an option to say okay or do what I do and say go fuck yourself.
Oh my goodness. Oh, dude, these are good. Oh.
That is like such a parallel to what I've heard before. Like, not towards me, but like people say it. Like, oh, yeah, bro, like I'm gonna be your boss one day. You're gonna be mopping the floors. And then it's
Has
like,
that ever happened to you?
maybe. I think maybe.
No one's ever said that to me.
Yeah. And then like it, at least from the people who like say it from like an insecure place, not from actual adversity.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed in their life compared to mine. So I can't really speak for people with adversity, but more so people with insecurities that are pretty obvious displayed on their actions. But I mean, it's true though. And I don't know. I mean, I would argue that put in a position of adversity doesn't necessarily mean that you're required to act violently through indirect actions of success. Meaning like you can just be successful, use that for motivation, but just be humble about it, and don't like demean people who previously demeaned you. In that way, you're taking the higher ground, and the highest order of that would be forgiving them for what they did, but always holding them accountable for what they did. And I think that's a better way of handling the situation than saying, oh yeah, well you can go F yourself. Like, I don't want to see you anyway. You know what you did to me? Like, I think that just I don't think that in introspectively, I feel like that doesn't help your problem that was originally started, because you just exacerbate the emotions surrounded with that issue by putting out an FU.
Yeah, I honestly, what I've come to realize is that I think you have some people who don't really know what course they're going to go down, right? And sometimes that can get a little stressful. And if you know what course that you want to take your life down, or you know the somewhat direction, a lot of times those people who don't know will not necessarily try to be rude, but they will kind of poke holes, if you want to say that, or they'll come up with their own ideas about how you can get to your course. And the best thing that I've realized, especially within fitness, within this podcast, right? Just do it. Just go your own path. Learn along the way. Realize you don't know everything. I mean, if you listen to our first podcast compared to this one, I don't know if this one's the best one we've ever done, but you slowly get better, right? And you realize, okay, I'm going down this course that I want to take my life. And those people who may not have a direction yet, hopefully they find something, but I can't focus on that because I have to focus on my own course and getting from point A to point B. If they want to join me and they want to go this direction as well, awesome. But if they don't waste your energy trying to bring them along. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And like for me, throughout my life, I was highly motivated by the people who, made fun of me and ridiculed me and talked about me behind my back, because that was a lot. It was really bad. There was a lot of it. Oh. Like a lot.
We're getting
It may be surprising. It may be surprising to some people, but
we've all gotten bullied at some point.
I was every other day at least. And, that was my initial motivation to do all this. But eventually that switched within a couple of years ago when someone told me that your enemy should be the best version of yourself. And that every day your best version of yourself is beating you, and that you should always be trying to beat your best version of yourself. And when that happens, you should reward yourself because you have now become the best version of yourself. And you're always setting goals that you can never reach, but by trying to reach those, you're in a better place than where you would have, focusing on the enemies that you've created in life.
Yeah, so I guess we're now talking about influences on ourselves. So that you brought up a great point. I heard, I can't think of who told me this. I think I've actually heard it on a podcast, and this particular individual, I think it was, I don't know who it was. I wish I could give them credit. They said, I think that when you get to heaven, you realize who you could have been, and your goal It was?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said, I imagine that God had a checklist. He was waiting for me with this checklist.
No.
And he said, oh, you see this? This is what you could have been, but it's too late now. It's too late now. And no, I want to go up to, no, he's like, I want to go up to heaven. I want to say, hey, you didn't expect this? This isn't on your checklist. I already passed all this.
This guy, I can just see him yelling that into the camera. No, this episode or this podcast was on you get to meet the person that you could have been, and you hopefully meet the person that's in the mirror rather than a stranger. And I thought that was really impactful and something that I tried to use to guide my life. Okay, we'll have one more video, okay?
Yeah.
Because, oh, man, some of these can be just a little much. And once again, these are random videos. And here we go. Let's dive in.
Every year I do this challenge where I run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I'm inviting you all to join me virtually. I'm going to be starting this Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. West Coast time.
Okay, so that was just a description of the challenge. Once again, these are pretty random. That was just a description of the challenge that he did. I really want to do it, but let's dive into a motivational one coming up here in one particular second.
Hey there. How you doing?
I'm back, motherfucker!
That's the whole video. That's the whole video. It's a car coming up to him, and oh my goodness, oh this show's falling apart, but we're having a really good time doing it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I said only one more, but I guess we're gonna do a few more because these are just funny.
I get a lot of questions. People asking me for help. So I asked them, what have you done to help yourself? Most of them say, I've been working hard. I'm all about being your own fucking hero, but I'm not about kissing your ass. In life, a lot of us believe that we're working much harder than we actually are. We
Very
think
true.
If we fucking got up early for 4 days, we've earned something. You gotta drop your entitled mindset. It's dead weight. We believe we work harder than we actually have. Trust me, most of us haven't. The one thing in life you gotta realize is this. Learn to help yourself. Don't count on other people to help you. Stay hard.
Would you like to give your input first, or you want me to? I'll dive in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to phrase mine correctly.
Here,
first.
I got you. So, okay, as far as fitness, right, this is a really big topic in fitness because I see this a lot with gym partners, okay? People get reliant on other people's external motivation to drive themselves to action. Now, this can be very good in the beginning, right? Because you're just starting something and you're doing teamwork and you got this. But what I oftentimes see is, once again, this different direction, different path. Maybe a person becomes more intense than another person. Maybe they decide to have different interests, and this could be within anything. Hell, companies, right? And when you reach a certain point, you have to realize that it's your own doing that's now going to take the lead. And it's up to you to figure out how you're going to get it done by yourself and internally motivate that action. What he also talks about in here is this, how do I say, ability to realize that you're not living up to your true potential and make a little bit more of a step forward rather than slack off, which is what most people do, especially in fitness, where, you know, you go, you have a hard leg day and you're like, well, man, I need to rest for the next 2 weeks. Like, no, you don't. You just need to get your butt back in the gym and let's progress a little bit more. So continue if you have anything.
Yeah, like the thing about people thinking that they work so hard, and it's like, I've seen like people think they're the smartest person in the room. People think they're the smartest person in the room until they meet the person who is actually the smartest in the room. And like everyone like talks about how much like the thing that pisses me off the most as a person who works a lot is everyone's like, oh, like I got so much work to do, like I got so much studying to do, and it's like, what are you doing? Like bragging about how busy you are? It's like this competition of who's the busiest.
And busy does not mean productive.
Yeah.
Make that very clear.
And it's like the only reason why it seems like such a large task is because you haven't set aside small enough time to be focused. You've set aside a large amount of time, and now you can't actually get the stuff done because you're just slacking off. And it seems like such a busy thing, but people like me and some other people, focus on the task.
Yeah.
And then just move on right away. Boom, 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 right down the hill. And
Or-
do we talk about how busy we are? No, not really. I say it in a joking way because I just think the whole thing is hilarious. But it's just another thing where, like, yes, it may seem insurmountable at the time, but with effort, it doesn't. It overall, after you put in effort in the task, then it doesn't seem as insurmountable as it was before, and then therefore, you won't think you're busy when previously you thought, oh no, there's no way I could do this.
Okay, I'm going to at some people right now, okay? Because I know they listen to the show. The amount of time that people spend in the gym doing exercise relative to the full amount of time that they actually spend within the location, between talking and resting. Now, resting in between sets is important, okay? Let me clarify that. But talking, chit-chatting, lollygagging around, if you want to if you want to have more time in your day, okay, cut that time down a little bit. Maybe, just say a couple sentences and be on your way. But don't sit around and just chit-chat for forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I walk into the gym, I smash it, and then I walk out. It's pretty simple. It's all that's happening. And that's why, like, okay, I'm going in, I'm trying to do my workout. You're not going to catch a conversation. I'm going out, I'm hungry. You're not going to catch a conversation. There's a goal at all times. And, like, you just got to, if you're in a day where, like, you need to get stuff done, that's how you have to act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to act selfish.
Let me also preface this by saying Michael is not the most social out of all. He's not the most talkative. But, you still, there's a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
And when it's time to achieve something, it's time to achieve something.
Yeah, sometimes my efficiency gets the best of me.
Subtle flex, but okay. Okay, wow, this episode, we're doing so well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very unique.
Can you give us a little wrap up here as we start to wind down the show?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Set your goals, but do not be limited by them. So don't limit yourself based on your preconceived conception of, like, what's your ceiling. Always try to score higher and go higher. And if, like, you are feeling like unmotivated, try to introspectively remember why you set out to do the certain thing that you wanted to do. When you're trying to, like, chase your goals, you can use the motivation from previous interactions with people who didn't believe in you, but the overall person you should always try to beat is the best version of yourself. And then
Oh boy,
use your time.
choking.
Use your time efficiently. So, yeah, if you're busy, reassess that word and truly ask yourself if you're being efficient with your time and actually putting in a meaningful effort to efficiently get that task done as fast as possible.
Awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. This is a little different than what we're normally doing, but once again, share it and have a great one.